We'll discuss one important topic in Yojana. So that is a December Yojana. Topic name is like making Indian agriculture future ready. Making Indian agriculture future ready. Important for both prelims and mains. Making Indian agriculture for future ready. What do you mean by future ready? See, India have a target like we wanted to become let us say fifth largest economy right now. We wanted to become a third largest economy. We wanted to improve our GDP, 5 trillion economy. Like there are many goals kept for the government of India. To achieve all the goals, we need to record development in every sector like agriculture, industries, service sector and science and technology everywhere. If you see growth of every sector which result into development of the nation. That is why one of the most important sector among all is like agriculture. I think we are very much clear about that. Even after independence, it is clear that at the time of independence, even 85 to 90% of the population is depending upon agriculture. But I would say 80% of the population were living in rural area. And meaning after independence, large section of Indian population was dependent on agriculture. In fact, when you see the Indian economy in the beginning days, look at the pie chart. Let us say this is like agriculture, this is like industries, and this is like service. To which sector largely contributing to us after independence? Agriculture. Right now it is different. Right now it is service sector which is contributing more for national income rather agriculture. But at the time of independence, even after independence for more number of years, agriculture is the dominant sector. With respect to employment, with respect to revenue generation, more population dependent on agriculture. But problem with this is like we are having very poor technology in agriculture. There was an issues like productivity, using fertilizers, credit facilities, land issues. Like the land was in the hands of few people. Then we introduced land reforms. Credit problems, we introduced so many programs to provide credit to the people, especially farmers. Problems of seeds, fertilizers, and many more. Mechanizing Indian agriculture is also important. We all brought all this since independence. So right now what is important? We need to ready agriculture for future development. Because of that, we need to use sustainable development in agriculture. We need to use like tools, modern tools in agriculture. We have to use less fertilizers and more crop yield. For that, we should have a buffer stock, right or not? That is why we should be making India agriculture future ready. Clear, right? Because if you wanted to achieve the target, even today, 54% of Indian population were living in rural area depending upon agriculture. If you wanted to see employment for everybody, but income should be increased for everybody, agriculture is the one most important sector. In fact, agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. Why? Because it provides resources, raw materials to the other sectors. Like secondary sector, which means manufacturing industries. What does manufacturing industries requires? Raw materials. But these raw materials were supplied from agriculture. Hence, agriculture is one most important backbone for Indian economy, which is neglected by the government of India after 1991 LPG reforms. Before 1991 LPG reforms, we gave emphasis to agriculture. We brought so many revolutions like Green Revolution, White Revolution, and many more. But problem is like using poor technology, land issues, irrigation issues, storage issues, mechanization issues, like there are many more challenges. After 1991, we introduced LPG policy like liberalization, privatization, globalization. But at the time the problem was we gave high priority to service and industry and neglected agriculture. But everywhere, agriculture is one dominant sector which is important for increasing India's GDP growth. That is why we should ready agriculture for future. What is that? Making Indian agriculture future. Do you understand why it is in news? Yes. Well, see, federal government has unveiled a 6-point plan to improve agriculture development. What do you mean by federal government? It is like central and state together we can say federal government. Only center, union, only state, state government, when together only we call it as federal government. And then agriculture is a state matter. Center also have control over the agriculture. That is why center and state together making several programs for the development of agriculture. I'll tell you, PM Kisan Yojana. PM Kisan Yojana is one central sector scheme. It is 100% sponsored by central government. They'll give you 6,000 per annum to the small and marginal farmers as an economic assistance. At the same time, states, Telangana, Raitu Bharosa, Kalia, many more schemes launched by the state governments in order to provide credit facilities to the farmers. Which means the central and state government is always giving emphasis for the development of agriculture, right? They are giving more emphasis on for the development of agriculture, emphasizing climate resilience, nutritional security and frontier technology. Our agriculture not only emphasizing on development of agriculture, or the government not only emphasizing on development of agriculture, it is giving emphasis on like what? Agriculture development, emphasizing on climate resilience. We have to protect our climate. When climate changing, crop is getting affected. Whatever the changes, we should protect the climate change. We also protect the crop at the time of climate change. Clear, right? Next one, nutritional security. Today we eat food. For example, we are eating white rice. But white rice not having any type of nutrition. It's just like the carbs, carbohydrates, but no nutrients in it. That is why we are suggesting to go for millets, having high amount of nutrients. So government is trying to secure the people with what? Nutritional food. I'll tell you, for example, in order to implement this, the government of India is doing something called as PDS, Public Distribution System. In this public distribution system, they are supplying like rice, wheat and so on, many more, right? But rice today we see like what type of rice they have? Fortified rice. Fortified rice. What do you mean by fortified rice? Every rice particle is having mineral coated, which means to enhance what? Nutritional security. Because if there is no nutrition in your food, it lead to the problems like what? Stunting, wastedness, got it? Malnutrition, that is nutritional security. Next one, frontier technology, which means we are mechanizing our agriculture. Rather using human force, we use technological developments. Like mechanizing agriculture is one thing. Why, sir? Mechanization of agriculture resulted into faster cultivation. What is that? Faster cultivation. For example, using drones in spreading what? Pesticides. Drone will do, the drone will scan where are the pests. Only there the drone will drop the pesticides. In rest of the place, it will not drop. If it is a human man-made spraying, he'll spray for everything. Where we are wasting the amount of pesticides, which increases cost burden on the farmer, right? If it is a drone first will scan where are the pests is present, only there it will spread off. Clear, right? Not only that, drone can also analyze the soil nutrients. Based on the soil nutrients, it will suggest us what type of chemical fertilizers and how much quantity should be used. Otherwise, farmer will take this much of fertilizer and throw everywhere, irrespective of knowing what minerals are present in that soil. Yes, so bringing technology is very, very important, which will reduce the cost that is incurred by the farmer on the agriculture would be reduced and the profit and the productivity increased. That is why the government of India along with states have planned something called 6-point plan. What is that? 6-point plan in order to improve agriculture development, emphasizing climate resilience, nutritional security, and using more technology in agriculture would reduces input cost, increases output. Reduces input cost, increases output. Always in agriculture or business in anywhere, what is important is low input, high output ratio. Input to output ratio is always important. Input should be very less. Input should be very less for anything. Output should be very high. Then only we call it as profitable. We call it as profitable. Is it clear, everyone? Then only we call it as profitable. Do you understand the concept? So these are the 6 points formula that is brought by Federal Government of India for development of agriculture, emphasizing climate resilience, nutritional security, and advancing technology. Advancing technology. Clear, everyone? At least మీరు ఎప్పుడు అగ్రికల్చర్ గురించి చదువుతున్నా రాస్తున్నా ఈ వర్డ్స్ అనేది పడాలి. సేమ్ దిస్ ఈజ్ లుక్ హౌ స్ట్రాంగ్ ద సెంటెన్స్ ఈస్. That should be your answer writing. Then nobody will deny the marks. Look at the next. In entails rising output. What is always we wanted? Low input, high output. All these are we doing for what? Rising output. For example, I am cultivating paddy. For 1 acre, I am getting 2 quintals of rice. But we wanted to increase that for 1 acre, 10 quintals. And the input cost is less, output is high. Then only we call it as high productivity, high profit margin to the farmers. We can also export our products to other countries rather than imports. So India wanted to be a surplus nation so that we can export our products to other countries. For that, we need less input and more output. We should raise what? Output. We should cut down expenses. Cut down expenses and less input, right? By using technology. Next, guaranteeing reasonable minimum price for producers. Guaranteeing reasonable minimum price for what? Producers. Can I use the word called here MSP? What is that? MSP, minimum support price. I'll tell you a little bit about MSP, which is important for prelims, and we should use this line in mains also. Look carefully. MSP, which is known as minimum support price, which is very important for farmers. Otherwise, farmers were entering into debt trap due to poor pricing policy. MSP was introduced. It is something like CACP. What is CACP? Commission for Agriculture, Cost and Price. And which department will look after the MSP? Which department will look after MSP and CACP, which is Commission for Agriculture, Cost and Price. UPSC prelims question. It comes under Ministry of Agriculture plus Farmers Welfare. Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. But who is the final authority? Who is the final authority to fix? Who is the final authority to fix MSP? The final authority, see, decided by CACP. Who is the final authority to fix MSP or to finalize MSP means, I tell you there is something called Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs. UPSC prelims question. Who is the chairman of Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs? Who is the chairman of Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs? Exactly. Answer is Prime Minister. UPSC previous year question. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is a final authority to approve MSP. But who will decide, who will do all the calculations part? CACP under Ministry of Agriculture. That is final approved by CCEA, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, headed by Prime Minister. Under MSP, which means minimum support price for crops which are produced by the farmers, should have a minimum price, otherwise they are getting lost, committing suicides in the name of debt trap. But my point, right now under MSP, how many products were there? How many products were there? It covers both Rabi crops, Kharif crops and commercial crops. Both Kharif, Rabi and commercial crops. Right now we have total 22 plus 1 product. 22 were normal. One is called fair remunerative price, which is nothing but sugar cane. Sugar cane or sugar industry is a weight losing industry. Sugar industry is what? Weight losing industry. Weight losing industries అని అంటామంటే ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ షుగర్ కట్ చేసి ఇండస్ట్రీకి తీసుకున్న గ్యాప్లో కొంత దాంట్లో ఉన్న సుక్రోజ్, గ్లూకోజ్, ఫ్రక్టోజ్ వాటెవర్ దట్ ఎవాపరేట్స్, అంటే కొంత అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ వెయిట్ తగ్గుతుందా లేదా? ఇలాంటి వాటిని ఏమంటాం ఇక్కడ? వెయిట్ లూజింగ్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ అంటాం. ఓకేనా? ఎస్. సో how many products under MSP? 23 total, including sugar cane. Including? Who will decide them? CACP. What is the final approving authority? CCEA, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, headed by Prime Minister. This minimum support price concept brought to India to support farmers, to support or to guarantee products of the farmers at least with a minimum price, so that they'll not fall under debt trap. Further, we can prevent committing suicides. Another problem in agriculture today, the farmers are migrating from agriculture to urban areas, to industrial labor. Automatically what happened? The productivity of agriculture reduces. India called Annapurna Devi because it produces more rice, more kind of food grains. When you reduce all these agricultural things, rather than consuming food and exporting food items, we need to import the food items that further create economic burden on government of India. That is why the government brought the concept like MSP. What is that? MSP. So that what happened here is minimum input, maximum output because of minimum support price. Ardhamaindi everyone? Yes. Making up for loss brought on natural disasters. For example, when there is a disaster happened, we lost agricultural fields. We lost productivity. Further, government of India has brought Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana. Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana is nothing, which is a crop insurance program. Once any damage happened to your crop due to natural calamities, you will get total your investments. That is concerned Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana. And the government providing safety for crops due to natural disasters, providing minimum support price, rising output, cutting down expenses. Then only we can say agriculture is more profitable in India. Agriculture is more profitable in India. Am I right? Yes. Not only that, diversifying the agricultural sector. We are cultivating more variety of crops. Cultivating same crop is a problem. We should go for crop rotation to get more profits. I'll tell you, for example, we have a coconut cultivation. There are huge land is always let empty. Within the gaps of this coconut plantation, we can go for cultivating cocoa, cultivating other like a pepper. Yes or no, yaar? Pepper we can cultivate within the coconut, right? So this is what called crop rotation. Effective utility of soil that generates less input and high output. All these things encouraging organic and natural farming. Today we are all looking for organic and natural farming. Recently there are many stores in Hyderabad based on organic and natural farming. Organic and natural farming, all these are encouraged by the government of India. Future ready agriculture. Today agriculture means loss. If anybody says agriculture means loss, You can't earn money from agriculture, but from that notion we should build a notion that agriculture is a profitable thing in India. I'll tell you one small case study. I think we have something called matrimony sites. First we look for the profile, what is the occupation and all. For a part, if there is agriculture farmer, done. Rejected out and right. Today, the people in rural areas, young people, were failed to get married. Reason is like their occupation called agriculture. Nobody ready to give their daughter to a farmer. Nobody say, right there Raju, but Raju is not getting Rani today. And then there are points like the reality versus notion is always different. The reality is totally different. The notion what we inculcate among the society is different. So we should live in reality but not in notions. That is why the government of India wanted to make agriculture is an profitable, at least in future. As of now, not a profitable thing, but at least in the future. By bringing all this, like rising output, cutting down expenses, guaranteed minimum price, next reducing losses due to natural calamities, and encouraging diversity of agriculture, encouraging organic and natural farming. By doing all this, farmers are getting more profits. Are you getting it right? This is what. Do you understand this? Look at the next one. The empowerment of women is also important in agriculture. Yes, sir. In maximum cases, who are the labor in agriculture? Women's. So women empowerment, young people empowerment, empowering small farmers for financial inclusion and competitiveness was given top priority. Like today we are having bank accounts. The program in the rural area, Prime Minister or else program like what you called MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Program, where you are getting your money through your bank account, right? And for everybody, we should get under financial, opening bank account, doing all the transactions through bank account. Your subsidies are directly depositing in financial inclusion, right? At the same time, if you're having bank account, farmer, women, children, self-help groups in rural area will get a loan from banks, financial inclusion, and bringing everybody under the umbrella of banking system so that they'll take loan from bank, they'll deposit their excess money in the bank. It is good for economy, and increasing competitiveness was given top priority. Today, what is the problem in India? We'll do work. Everybody will do work. In the world, highest young population was there in India. But still, why we are calling developing countries, sir? There are problems. Skill is one problem, lack of skill, poor mindset, to grab opportunities. There are opportunities, but you are unable to grab the opportunities due to poor skill and a poor mindset. That is one problem. Well, look at the other problem. We all do the work, but what is missing is competitiveness. We'll not compete with others. Never. We'll compete with ourselves. అదేగా మనం చెప్పుకునే జోకు, నాకెవరు పోటీ లేరు, నాకు నేనే పోటీ, నాకు నాతోనే పోటీ, ఇంకొట్టుకో మరి నేను నువ్వే పెళ్లి చేసుకో. అర్థమైంది? ఇంక ఇట్లా ఉంటుంది మనం చెప్పేయండి. సో లైక్ దేర్ షుడ్ బి ఏ కాంపిటేటివ్నెస్. ఫర్ కల్టివేటింగ్ అగ్రికల్చర్ యూ షుడ్ కల్టివేట్ బెటర్ దెన్ అదర్స్. You should study better than your friend, better than any person in the institute or in India. That type of competitiveness is missing. Due to competitiveness, skill and quality mindset enhances. Competitiveness వల్ల skill enhance అవుతుంది, mindset, quality of product good enhance అవుతుంది. You see corporate world. When you see the corporate world, what happens there? I produce one drink, let us say cool drink, and other competitor will produce better drink than this competitive. Then he also raises standards, competitiveness. There is a competitiveness among the IAS institutes. Then only better quality will come out, right? So what is missing here is competitiveness. So government of India given top priority for competitiveness and financial inclusion, which definitely enhances or encourages agriculture productivity by empowering women, youth, small and marginal farmers. Got it? Yes? This is how you should understand it. ఇలా మనం ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయకుండా మిమ్మల్ని చదవమని చెప్పుంటే 1 minute దీని మీద చదివి వదిలిపెట్టేసేవాళ్ళు, రైట్? ఇప్పుడు గుర్తుందా how depth analysis is required on Yojana and Kurukshetra magazines? Do you understand till this? Next one, overview of agriculture 2024 and 25. Look, 1.52 lakh అంటే 1,52,000 crores. 1.52 lakh crores has been set aside for agriculture and related fields. Agriculture and related fields. And don't read all the sub-budgets. No need to memorize all the sub-budgets. Only this main budget is important. No need the sub-budget. I can say we have given emphasis on dairy, animal husbandry, and next one is what? Agriculture research, fisheries. What is that? Fisheries and improving infrastructure and processing. Dairy processing is important. Fishery processing is important. Am I right? At the same time, infrastructure need to be enhanced. అంటే 2024 and 25 లో we gave budget for agriculture how much? 1,52 lakh crores. In that we have allocated budget for fisheries, dairy, animal husbandry, and then ఏంటమ్మా agriculture research in both development of infrastructure and processing. Look at output accomplishment 2023-24 లో food grains output reached to record of క్వింటల్ మనం చెప్పుకుంటాం ఇక్కడ అంటే ఒక్కొక్క క్రాప్ ఎన్ని క్వింటల్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయిందో చెప్పుకుంటాం బట్ ఆ నెంబర్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ కంపేర్ టు 2024-25 కంటే 2023-24 లో వీ హ్యావ్ దిస్ మచ్ ఆఫ్ క్రాప్స్ దట్ హ్యాస్ బీన్ ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ ఇన్ 2024 and 25. If you see in 2023-24 financial year lo, look at the budget, look at the crops, there is a increase in crops of Sri Anna. ఏంటి Sri Anna అంటే millets. Sri Annam, Annam antam kadara. Sri Anna, it is nothing but millets, giving more importance to millets. Today everybody says that don't consume right, rather consuming rights go for millets. No salt, no pepper and all kind of, just eat a raw millets just by cooking and adding some veggies. Sri Anna means what? It's a millets, increase the millets, increase the wheat, increase what? Like rice. And the meaning in 2023 and 24 lo, we have seen surplus food grains in both millets, wheat and rice. The number is not important here is, okay now? Yes. Next, oil seeds. Agriculture means we will talk about the crops, right? Oil seeds. The mission mode initiatives have led to the record output of mustard and as well as rapeseed. Mustard and rapeseed, you know they were called oil seeds. Even groundnut is also oil seed. Olive is also oil, but we are particularly considering what? Mustard and rapeseed. What is that? Rapeseed. The production of pulses increased from 163 metric tons in 2015 and 16, then to 244 metric tons 23-24. And the meaning 2015 and 16 what is the amount of pulses and 163 tons metric tons, let us say. How much it is increased by 2023-24? 244. And agricultural productivity increased or decreased?
Increased.
Rice increased, wheat increased, millet increased, pulses increased. Are you getting? Oil seeds also increase, especially what? Mustard and the rapeseed. What is that? Rapeseed. Look at next. The fruits, number not important. The fruits, vegetables and other crops like honey, spices and medical plants have increased in horticulture. Important. Compare with 2015 and 16 to 2023 and 24, there was an increase in what? Horticulture. What is increase in horticulture? Fruits, vegetables and other crops like honey cultivators, spicy cultivators, medical plants cultivators increased. 2015-16 తో కంపేర్ చేసుకుంటే 2024 and 25 they got increase, 23-24 also increase. అర్థమైందా? ఇలాంటి డాటాని మెయిన్స్లో రాయాలి. నోటుకు వచ్చింది రాస్తే ఆయన చేతికి వచ్చిన మార్కులు వేస్తాడు. Very, very important it is. This is where you have to read the things multiple times, understand and going further. Got it? Look at the minimum support price. I think we discussed about minimum support price.
Yes, sir.
And who will decide this? And who will decide this? Commission for Agriculture, Cost and Price, and the Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. And who is the final authority? Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs headed by Prime Minister. Minimum support price to guarantee margin of at least 1.5 times of cost to production. Your cost is 10 rupees. Minimum support price you should get at least 11.5 rupees. 11.5 rupees. And you are getting minimum profit, right? The government is buying your products at MSP price. At MSP, minimum support price. MSP was raised for all Rabi crops, Kharif crops. For wheat it is raised by 105 times increased it is. For mustard and oilseed it is increased to 98. Leguminous plants. Lentil is a leguminous plant which is present in European countries. అక్కడే నాచు ఉంటుంది, ఎక్కడ వాటర్ స్టాగ్నేట్ అయి ఉంటే దే ఆర్ కాల్డ్ లెగ్యూమినస్. అండ్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ గ్రామ్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో కైండ్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ పల్సెస్ సీడ్స్ కైండ్. highest MSP was given. అంటే for encouraging agriculture, government has given what? MSP and increased MSP for every crop over a period of time. What MSP increased? Wheat MSP increased. Oil seeds MSP increased. For leguminous plants MSP increased. The impact of monsoons. Indian agriculture is purely depending upon monsoons. The reason is like we have a poor irrigational facilities, lack of infrastructure, lack of input capital. Drip irrigation is a little costly, right? Canals is also having a problem in India. That is why irrigation is a challenge. The maximum parts of India depending upon what? Rainfall. Rainfall means what? Monsoons. Monsoons are irregular. Our life also irregular. You know irregularity of the monsoons? Agriculture depending upon the monsoons. Monsoons depending upon climate change. Climate is again depending upon human actions. This is called cyclical effect. What is that? Cyclical effect. So impact of the monsoons, 5% more rainfall increased soil moisture. If there is a 5% rainfall increase the soil. ఎక్కువ వర్షం పడితే ఎక్కువ వాటర్ సాయిల్ రిటైన్ చేసుకుంటుందా? మాయిశ్చర్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటే we can cultivate crop for longer time, no? Who will hold maximum moisture in the soil? Black soil. Black soil can retain high moisture. Okay, now look at them. And reservoir storage will increase or decrease? రెయిన్ఫాల్ ఎక్కువైతే రిజర్వాయర్లో వాటర్ ఎక్కువైతాయా తక్కువైతాయా? ఎక్కువైతాయి కదా. అదే చెప్తున్నాను ఇక్కడ నేను 2023లో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ హై రెయిన్ఫాల్ దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ మోర్ వాటర్ రిజర్వ్ ఇన్ రిజర్వాయర్స్ అండ్ ద ఏరియా అవైలబుల్ ఫర్ ప్యాడీ ఇంక్రీజ్ ఆర్ డిక్రీజ్? Paddy is a water intensive crop. Rainfall ఎక్కువ ఉంటే వాటర్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటే రైస్ కల్టివేషన్ పెరుగుతుంది, రైట్? రైన్ఫాల్ ఇంక్రీజ్ అయితే ఏం జరుగుతుంది? సాయిల్ మాయిశ్చర్ పెరుగుతుంది, రిజర్వాయర్లో వాటర్ రిజర్వ్ పెరుగుతుంది, అండ్ ప్యాడీ కల్టివేషన్, ఆయిల్ కల్టివేషన్, pulses, sowing projects will increases. Because every crop is required water, more or less. They required what? Water. And it is anticipated that improved circumstances will help winter crops like chickpeas and wheat. Can I say there are seasons? Winter seasons we have less water. During the time it is good to cultivate chickpeas, green peas and chickpeas, and as well as wheat. Mostly when you go to the Nellore district, especially a village called Kottupuluru, my village. In nearby my village, everybody during the December month and February, during that month will cultivate more amount of pulses, wheats, because our area is a rain shadow area. During the time we need less water to cultivate wheat and other kind of crops, right? All the crops is dependent upon what? Monsoons. If monsoons are good, cultivations are more, productivity is more, profit is good. Next one we will talk about important agriculture projects and measures. I said if you wanted to see the development in agriculture, we need some projects or not? And what are the measures we need to take for betterment of agriculture? Then only we can say agriculture is a future ready, right? Look the first one. So there is a program like, number is not important, program like Digital Agriculture Mission. Enhance supporting system to the farmers. In this digital agriculture mission law, we have a programs like we can use agriculture stake. We can also go for what? Krishi Decision Support System. Prelims kaadu mains ki. KDSS. Krishi Decision Supporting System. Krishi means farmer. And when farmer taking a decision, like what crop need to be cultivated, okay, what season is this, what type of fertilizer should I use, for every decision of the farmer supported by digital agriculture missions. Clear everyone? Like we will go for soil profile mapping, soil testing labs. We'll take the soil, we'll test it to find the minerals. Based on the minerals, we'll cultivate crops. We add pesticides. Helping the farmers or not? Otherwise, they use every fertilizer which increases input cost. Concentrate on digital transformation, development of digital formal IDs connected to database such as crop, land records, estimated to provide 2.5 lakh job for, what is that? Krishi Sakis. Krishi Sakis and it is for women and skilled. When you digitalizing the agriculture related things, that generates employment, that support to the farmers while taking decision and cultivating crops. Got it right? Government measures and government programs to promote agriculture. Next, climate resilience research. So climate change is inevitable in the world. And the sustainable developmental goals. Do you remember them? Yes. One of the things is like climate resilience. We have to prevent the climate change. Because the climate change is everywhere, it is common phenomenon. When change in climate, change in monsoons, change in crop pattern and productivity, then we are using more hybrid or chemicals, which again affecting human metabolism after consumption, right? So we should do something called climate resilient and research. The crop should be climate resilient. Even though there is a change in the climate, the crop should resist climate change. Then only we can get more yield. Otherwise, when climate change, crop automatically gets damages. We need climate resilient crops. For that, we have to promote research. Uses agriculture development, plant genetic resources management to achieve sustainable food security. Can you use the word called genetically modified crops? We are using today the genetically modified crops, hybrid crops, because of what? Climate changes. When though there is a climate change, there is genetically modified crops always gives you good productivity in agriculture. Not only that, we should develop agriculture knowledge in academics. Today, economic knowledge in academics, agriculture knowledge in academics in India is very less. Will not give importance to these two. That is why 2020 NEP means New Educational Policy. Look at this. 2020 NEP, New Educational Policy, giving high emphasis for modernizing agri-education. This would be the most important. One is like genetically modified crops by doing the research. Next one, improving agricultural education among students. For that we have introduced NEP, New Educational Program 2020. Can you say important agriculture projects and measures taken by government? One is a digital agriculture, next one research in the genetically modified crops, New Educational Policy 2020. Come here boys, livestock and dairy development programs. Livestock, which means kola forum gurtunda, livestock and dairy development. For example, infusing like the semen of other countries, like Jersey kind of thing, Indian variety of buffaloes will not give you much milk. They are good at resistance but not giving milk quantity. So that we go for crossbreeding. When you go for crossbreeding, then that become resistant and giving more milk. That is what livestock. And what next? Dairy development. Next we should go for sustainable horticulture. లైఫ్ స్టాక్ డైరీ పెరగాలంటే దేనికి ఎక్కువ ఇంపార్టెన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి? వెటర్నరీ డాక్టర్స్ అండి. మోడర్నైజింగ్ వెటర్నరీ ఎడ్యుకేషన్, ఇంప్రూవింగ్ జెనెటిక్, నేను చెప్పింది అదే కదరా. వెటర్నరీ డాక్టర్లు పెంచాలి. ఆ గేదె స్పమ్ తెచ్చి ఈ గేదెలు పెట్టి క్రాస్ ఫర్టిలైజేషన్ జరగాలి. అవుట్పుట్ ఈజ్ హై. Got it? So what is that? Livestock and dairy development programs launched by government by giving emphasis for what? Genetic resources and veterinary. Sustainable horticulture. What is sustainable horticulture? We should cultivate more amount of medical plants, spices, plantation crops, raising farmers' income. ఏ క్రాప్స్ తెలంగాణ గవర్నమెంట్ చెప్తుంది, ఈ క్రాప్స్ కల్టివేట్ చేస్తే మీకు ఎక్కువ ప్రాఫిట్ వస్తుంది. Am I right? That is sustainable horticulture. Next one, natural resource management. These are all government schemes for promoting agricultural development. Natural resource management, nothing but encouraging water, soil management. That is sustainable. Sustainable and the meaning ento cheppagalra? Using resources for current needs and preserving some of them for future needs is called sustainable. Is called like 100 rupees. 100 rupees we need to spend for 1 week. Then you will maintain that 100 rupees very carefully, right? Today you will eat something and you will save something for future. Called sustainable. I have 100 rupees but I ate one biryani khatam. No sustainability, no. Because always resources are limited. Human wants are unlimited. When to satisfy unlimited human wants with limited resources, what is required? Sustainability. What is that? Sustainability. Clear everybody? Next, the lab to land projects. All these are like projects that are launched by government in order to promote agriculture. What is lab to land projects? Very simple. Krishi Vignan Kendras. Krishi Vignan Kendras to improve connectivity between farmers and researchers. To cultivate, what not to cultivate, how to do agriculture in a more productive way, what type of input or what type of chemicals should be used. Even Everestarama Kisan Vignan Kendras. There are many umbrella programs like Krishonnati Yojana. What is that? Krishonnati Yojana. Prime Minister Krishi Vikas Yojana. All these are programs launched by government for the development of agriculture, encouraging climate resiliency. And crops should be climate resistant, food security, sustainable agriculture. Simply several approaches for adaptability and effective state level executions. ఇవే కాకుండా గవర్నమెంట్ has brought many programs for the development of agriculture. Some of the programs are like development of livestock, sustainable horticulture, management of natural resources, lab to land project, many umbrella programs like Krishonnati Yojana and so on. And we also discuss some program series like what? Digital Agriculture Mission, next Climate Resilience and Resource. In this we are talking about what? Genetically modified crop. Genetically modified crop, food security, National Education Policy 2020 also promoting agriculture education. Agriculture education. Got it? Important choice for agricultural imports and exports. I told this point. Once upon a time, India is doing exports of agriculture. Today we wanted to increase exports more. Why is the population in India increased? We have to satisfy our own needs. Then we should export the resources. Why we need to export all the time? If exports are more, imports are less. We are in surplus or deficit? They are in surplus. Always any country wanted to have surplus trade. India wanted to do more exports. Look at this, exports of onions. Idantha nonsense meeku avasarala. Exports of onions, exports of basmati rice. Basmati rice in America exported from India. In many other countries, Indian basmati rice are very famous. We also advertise basmati biryani rice. రోడ్డు పైన ఒక ఆయన హోటల్ పెట్టుంటాడు, వీ కుక్ బిర్యానీ విత్ బాస్మతి రైస్ అంటాడు. ఎస్, కొంతమంది చిట్టి ముత్యాలు అంటారు. right? They're different, but we give more priority for what? We should increase exports like onion. Next one, ఇక్కడ remaining మీరు చదివి ఇది గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. We're increasing our exports in agriculture. One is onion, next one basmati, next integrated agri export facilities. What is integrated agri export facilities? And we are not only exporting few, there should be integrity like a PPP mode. What is PPP mode? Public private partnership mode. We are doing more exports. Public private mode is nothing but integrity or integrated agri export facility, right? అర్థమైందా? కటింగ్ వేస్ట్ అండ్ ఎన్హాన్సింగ్ అగ్రి లాజిస్టిక్స్ అంటే ఏంటమ్మా? షిప్పింగ్ అని, స్టోరింగ్ ఫెసిలిటీ, ట్రాన్స్పోర్టేషన్ ఫెసిలిటీ, ఇవన్నీ ఉంటేనే కదా మనం ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ చేయగలం. ఎస్, దట్ ఈస్ వాట్. నెక్స్ట్, టెక్నిక్స్ అండ్ యాక్షన్స్ ఫర్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ అగ్రికల్చర్. వాట్ ఆర్ ద టెక్నిక్స్ వి ఫాలో? వాట్ ఆర్ ది యాక్షన్స్? ఫస్ట్ వన్, ఇంక్రీజ్డ్ అవుట్పుట్. కాస్ట్ మీరు డెవలప్ అవ్వాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి? సోది పెట్టే టైం తగ్గించి చదువుకు పెట్టే టైం పెంచాలి. ఇక్కడ కూడా అంతే. అవుట్పుట్ షుడ్ బి ఇంక్రీజ్, ఇన్పుట్ కాస్ట్ రెడ్యూస్ అండ్ క్వాంటిఫైబుల్ ప్రైసింగ్. అంటే the price should be little high. The disaster compensation. I said there is something like called Prime Minister Fasal Bima Yojana. Got it? Allah. Next, diversification of crops. I told this already. Multi crops. What is that? I took example of coconut. Within the coconut we are cultivating spices, cocoa, right? Next one, value addition, natural farming, organic farming, right? Are the 6 pillars of government selected approach. Agriculture develop చేయడానికి గవర్నమెంట్ పెట్టుకున్న టార్గెట్స్ ఏంటమ్మా? అవుట్పుట్ పెంచాలి, ఇన్పుట్ కాస్ట్ తగ్గించాలి, ప్రైసింగ్ ఈక్విటబుల్గా ఉండాలి, డిజాస్టర్ కాంపెన్సేషన్, డైవర్సిఫికేషన్ అండ్ అదర్ వాల్యూ అడిషన్ ప్లస్ న్యాచురల్. దీస్ ఆర్ ద టెక్నిక్స్ అండ్ యాక్షన్స్ దట్ ఆర్ టేకెన్ బై గవర్నమెంట్ ఫర్ ద డెవలప్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ అగ్రికల్చర్. క్లియరా? ఇది చదివి మళ్ళీ మీరు రాస్తే బాగా గుర్తుంటుంది. అలాగే ప్రోగ్రామ్ లైక్ నేషనల్ పెస్ట్ సర్వేలెన్స్ సిస్టమ్. పెస్టిసైడ్ ఇస్ ద బిగ్గెస్ట్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ అండి. Why the crop is not properly getting out? Because of pesticides. Even people don't know idea about for what pest, what type of pesticide should be thrown off. People don't know this. మనకి ఏది వచ్చినా ఎంట్రీని కొట్టేయాలంట. ఏమంటాం? ఎంట్రీన్. ప్రతి దానికి కామన్ కొట్టే మందు ఏంటి? ఎంట్రీన్ మందు. కానీ అవి చచ్చిపోతే దాని బాధతోటి పని చేస్తుంది లేదని ఫార్మర్ తాగుతాడు. అప్పుల బాధ వల్ల ఆయన పైన బాగా పనిచేస్తుంది. That is one thing. National Pest Surveillance System. Ante it is a digital initiative expected to increase demand worldwide and increase revenue for onion growers. More than 22,300 what is that? Questionnaires have been completed. Meekunna questions mottham ikkada rasa digital they'll give you all the answers so that you can use different types of pesticides based on their advice. Next one, Sati portal, seed authentication. Today we are getting biggest problem is seeds, duplicate seeds. What is that? Duplicate seeds. Testing authority Sati. What is that? Sati. Em jarugundante ikkada 266 breeder seed centers are onboarded to guarantee farmers receive high quality seeds at a reasonable cost. If seeds are not quality, will invest and no growth of crop. అగైన్ ఫార్మర్ కమిట్ సూసైడ్. చాలాసార్లు చూసారా? ఇత్తనాలు బాగా లేవు, మళ్ళీ కొంటారు. దట్ రైజెస్ ఇన్పుట్ కాస్ట్, రైట్? దట్ ఈస్ వన్ థింగ్. నెక్స్ట్ వన్ ఈస్ లైక్ న్యూ క్రాప్ టైప్స్ to address the issues including climate change, pest assault and nutritional inadequacy. 109 climate resilient cultivators of 61 crops have been released. అంటే కొత్త క్రాప్స్ రిలీజ్ చేస్తున్నారు, కొత్త రిలీజ్ చేస్తారు. దే ఆర్ వెరీ స్ట్రాంగ్. ఈవెన్ దో దెర్ ఇస్ ఎ క్లైమేట్ చేంజ్, దే కెన్ ఈజీలీ ఏబుల్ టు సస్టైన్. వాట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ న్యూ types which are climate resistant, which are a point saripodda. Last one, farmer centric communication. There should be a communication for everything. Call centers. What is that? Call centers. When farmer make a call, you should ready to give answers to their questions. That is something like call centers. Financial inclusion and insurance. I said Aam Aadmi Bima Yojana. Jandan Yojana account. Jandan Yojana account. Free bank account to everybody. Like Fasal Bima Yojana. Pradhan Mantri Bima Yojana. KCC, Kisan credit cards, in order to purchase small agricultural things by the farmers with interest rate of less than 4%. Less than? Kisan credit card, Fasal Bima Yojana, all of them are known as what? Aam Aadmi Bima Yojana. Free banking account under Jandan Yojana. They all comes under financial inclusion. And what is insurance program? Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. Fasal Bima Yojana. What is next one? Kisan credit card. Kisan credit card is nothing but providing card to every farmer so that he can use some of the money from the Kisan credit card to have to meet up his expenses. But there are interest rate on that 4%. What is that? 4%. Done with this? Yes. Developing Agriculture Infrastructure Fund. NABARD has the fund, you know. NABARD has a fund called Agricultural Development Fund, especially for infrastructure. How much it is? More than 10,000. Development of agriculture infrastructure. It's a problem in India. Infrastructure is a problem, especially in agriculture. Development of infrastructure fund separately, more than 10,000 crores. We need to give more emphasis on natural farming. If you give emphasis on natural farming, no need to use pesticides. The input cost is less. Output price is high. ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఎలాంటివి కొంటారు? కెమికల్ వేసినవి ఎక్కువ ప్రైస్ పెట్టుకుంటారా? న్యాచురల్ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ ఆర్గానిక్ ఎక్కువ ప్రైస్ పెట్టుకుంటారా? న్యాచురల్ ఫార్మింగ్లో మీకు ఏమొస్తాయి? Natural అంటే chemical free fruits and vegetables can be generated, right? And a low input, high output. Next one, Prime Minister Kisan Scheme. What is the Prime Minister Kisan Scheme? Providing 6,000 rupees to the small and marginal farmers annually at 3 intervals. At 3 intervals. Discussed or not? Purely central sector scheme. It is already there in a YouTube channel, separate video. You can watch on there. These are the schemes that are launched by the government of India for protecting farmers. This is what called one of the Yojana topic called making agriculture for future ready. Just filter చేసుకుంటే ఇదంతా హార్డ్లీ ఒక 20 పాయింట్స్ వస్తాయి హార్డ్లీ. దాన్ని ఫిల్టర్ చేస్తే ఆ 20 పాయింట్స్ని గుర్తుపెట్టుకొని అగ్రికల్చర్లో ఎలాంటి క్వశ్చన్ వచ్చినా వీటిని యూజ్ చేసుకుని వీ కెన్ రైట్ ది ఆన్సర్స్. క్లియర్? దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ ఫర్ ద డే. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. ఈజ్ ఇట్ క్లియర్ టు ఎవ్రీ వన్? గుడ్ లక్. హ్యావ్ ఎ నైస్ డే.